Mishanichnas Adar marbin besimcha. We're right now in the moments which end Adar Rishon, Erev Rosh Chodesh Adar Sheni. So we're going from Adar to Adar. So what does that mean to us? Mishanichnas Adar, the Sforim HaKadoshim say that Adar is the letters Aleph, Dor. Aleph represents the Rabbi Shloim, who is Hashem Echad, Alufay Shel Olam. And Dor means to dwell. Adar is a time when every Yid is zoichet to see how Hashem is dwelling amongst him and with him. It's our job in Rosh Chodesh Adar and our privilege and our schus to be able to open up our heart and feel how Hashem is echad, but not only b'shamayim mimal, but ala oretz mitochas ein oid. So how do we bring that to life? We have to be marbe b'simcha. How does a person be marbe b'simcha? Simcha is a midah. The Rambam says that the greatest avoid is simcha. And we know that Arizal says that the reason why he came to all his madrigas was because of the tremendous simcha that he had with every mitzvah that he did. And the Torah tells us, Tachas asher lo yavadetas Hashem Elokecha b'simcha. So we know the simcha in the Arizal represents the Olam HaKeser. In the L'Shem Yichud that we say that when we should be zoichet to do mitzvahs with simcha, and that represents the Olam HaKeser. So how does a person be zoichet to do mitzvahs b'simcha? So number one, he has to have the emunah pshuta, that the mitzvah that he's doing is bringing tremendous joy to Hashem. And by us doing it b'simcha, brings even a greater tainuk to Hashem. When a person does something with simcha, that means he recognizes that what he's doing is special. Special to who? Who sees him doing this mitzvah? Hashem is the one that sees him doing the mitzvah. If he's doing it with simcha, that means he loves what he's doing. He's happy with what he's doing. And through that, he's in a sense giving over his essence and his metzias to Hashem. Now that's a very deep thought which has to be explained. But when a person does a mitzvah, so his whole, according to how much of his mind and how much of his heart, how much of his nefesh and how much of his body is involved in the mitzvah, so that's how much in effect he's disconnecting his mind, his body, his heart and his nefesh from his own personal ani, who I am, and giving that over to Hashem, who I'm doing the mitzvah for. A person has his own metzias. He wants to enjoy life. He wants to use this world for his benefit. We don't have to expound on that. So, and his whole day and his whole night are circling around what can I do to bring pleasure and happiness and life to myself. When a person says, I'm not going to think about myself right now. I want to think about the glory of Hashem. I want to glorify Hashem's name. I want to do his rotzen. So then he's taking and he's going to do a mitzvah. So then he's taking his mind, his heart, his nefesh, his body, and he says, Hashem, with this I'm doing your rotzen, I'm doing what you commanded me to do. So then he's giving his whole entity, his whole metzias to Hashem with what he's doing. And at the moments that he's doing that mitzvah, he's not with himself anymore. He's with Hashem. So by doing the mitzvah, you're actually becoming dovuk to Hashem. That's called dvekus. Dvekus means I take my whole essence, my whole metzias, and I cling to Hashem with that to the extent that I have no more metzias for myself. I'm completely for Hashem. So that's a great madrega. But every person in their level could do that by adding in more effort, especially when it's hard, the harder it is, the more parts of yourself that you use to do the mitzvah, that's how much dveikus you have. And when a person knows this, and he does this with simcha, so then simcha evaporates the element of simcha evaporates the element of nature, of physicality, and brings him into the realm of spirituality, the realm of Hashem. When a person is besimcha, he doesn't realize and doesn't care and doesn't feel about what's going on around him. He's in a different world. So when a person adds simcha to the mitzvah that he's doing by knowing the great pleasure that Hashem has from what he's doing, and by knowing what he's doing for himself and doing for the world, when he's doing this mitzvah, he's causing that Hashem should dwell within us. Alufei shel olam is dar within us, in Chodesh Adar. So that brings down and that opens up in the whole entire world a window that every neshama could actually see how Hashem is right here. Until we're zoicha to Purim, and then we're zoicha how Hashem himself reveals to us, to every yid in any situation that he's in, reveals to him how his whole life really is with Hashem, and there's a master plan in the smallest things that's happening in his life. Hashem is behind it, and each thing leads to another thing. Bixam v'seresh wanted to kill Achashverosh, and that alone brought to the whole Geula, because Mordechai HaTzadik happened to have been there at that moment, and he told the king, and Esther said it b'shem Mordechai, and Achashverosh decided not to reward him right away. Could have rewarded him right away. He said, no, I'm going to write it in my book. And the whole Purim story is to teach us, as from the smallest things in our life, really, it's only the beginning of Hashem's plan to bring us to greatness and to bring us to the world to come. May we be all zoiche to the Simcha of Purim, and we should be zoiche to merit the Mashiach Tzidkeinu Me'ev Yameinu. Amen. Amen.